Donald Trump is panicking as his disastrous war, his unlawful war against Iran, is spiraling out of control. Trump looks so utterly weak and pathetic. Yesterday, after Donald Trump manipulated the markets and said the war was essentially over and the United States had won, which we have not, and that we would likely be pulling out soon, after the markets closed, he held a deranged press conference where he basically said the opposite, then put out a number of statements to suggest escalation was a possibility, to which Iran responded by saying, okay, we control the screws to the Strait of Hormuz, and we're going to stick those screws in you and twist it and make you pay dearly. Let me show you what went down. So Donald Trump, late last night, posted the following. If Iran does anything that stops the flow of oil within the Strait of Hormuz, they will be hit by the United States of America 20 times harder than they have been hit thus far. Additionally, we will take out easily destroyable targets that will make it virtually impossible for Iran to ever be built back as a nation again. Death, fire, and fury will rain upon them, but I hope and pray that it does not happen! Exclamation point. Pause there. Threatening death, fire, and fury on Iran, while all throughout yesterday evening, the Trump regime continued to bomb not just military targets in Iran, but civilian infrastructure as well. And now it is beyond dispute that indeed the Trump regime bombed that elementary school in Iran, killing over 150 little girls. But what else would you expect from the Epstein class that abused little girls and covered it up? And over 185 people died in these Tomahawk missile strikes. And then during that disastrous press conference yesterday afternoon, Donald Trump tried to suggest that Iran owns Tomahawk missiles, and then Tomahawk missiled its own elementary schools. They don't have Tomahawk missiles. Only a few countries, the closest of allies of the United States, have Tomahawks. You would need a launching device with the Tomahawks, which Iran doesn't have either. And you don't get generic Tomahawks, as Donald Trump said. He lies about everything. Donald Trump goes on to say, this is a gift from the United States of America to China and all of those nations that heavily use the Hormuz Strait. Why would we be doing a gift to China? We're China first right now. Oh, you want to go to China for your state visit in April and have that picture with Xi Jinping in front of the Chinese soldiers standing at attention and saying, sir, you look so powerful, sir. You look so weak and pathetic. And Putin and Xi Jinping and everybody is outmaneuvering you right now. Donald Trump goes on to say, hopefully it is a gesture that will be greatly appreciated. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump. A gesture that would be greatly appreciated if Americans had health care, if Americans could have good education, if Americans can afford things, if Americans can afford a home, could afford to pay their rent, that would be a good gesture. But no, you are using our taxpayer dollars to kill little schoolgirls in Iran and to blow it up in this unlawful war. What the hell are you doing? So that's what Donald Trump posts last night after earlier manipulating the markets. Say, oh, I guess we're going to be done soon. And the market recovered yesterday and oil prices dropped when Donald Trump manipulated the market. So then Iranian sources then said the following to CNN. We hold the screws of the global oil price in our hands, and for a long time the U.S. will have to wait for our actions to control the price. Energy prices have become unstable, and we will continue to fight until Trump declares defeat. They told that to Frederick Pleitgen over at CNN. Iran is also warning of $200 a barrel oil if the strikes on its infrastructure don't stop. Ali Larijani of Iran, their senior national security advisor, says it is unlikely that any security will be achieved in the Strait of Hormuz amid the fires of the war ignited by the United States and Israel in the region, especially if that is by the design of the parties that were not far removed from supporting this war and contributing to its fanning, to which Iran also said any country that keeps a United States and Israeli embassy in their countries will be targeted by Iran. And if you expel the embassies, then you can pass through the Strait of Hormuz. The leader of the Iranian parliament put out the following message. Trump has officially announced that he considers people's groups as targets for attack. This is the official confession of the terrorist American government, so that later, if they make the slightest mistake, they cannot claim these were military targets. The massacre of people and attacks on population centers will have uncontrollable consequences. We will respond recklessly and without restraint. And so here, the Trump regime has fully sacrificed any moral high ground they might have by attacking civilian targets, desalination plants. So with all of that happening, what's the big news that Donald Trump is doing? Donald Trump has taken to guessing people's shoe size in front of them. He asks an aide to put in an order, and a week later, a brown Florsheim box arrives at the White House. Trump sometimes signs the box or attaches a note of gratitude. So he has his cabinet members show up. He guesses their foot size. He buys them these Florsheim shoes, and then he gets all giddy about it. This is deranged and weird behavior. What else is Donald Trump doing in response to Iran warning of uncontrollable consequences after Trump saying he will target new areas and groups of people after the markets closed? Donald Trump posts some bizarre audio prophecy video that says Donald Trump is here by the trumpet of God to provide leadership to America. And then he talks about doing this event on May 17th, the Christian National Prayer event that will make good on the prophecy. And then he posts audio of a prophecy, he says. Again, this is an utterly deranged human being. Here, let's play this clip.
Trump shall become a trumpet, says the Lord. Trump shall become a trumpet.
Now, as one observer noted, I guess war is almost complete at 3:30 p.m. just before the stock market closes, but at 5 p.m., war is this. We will not relent until the enemy is defeated. Donald Trump is also considering sending special forces to try to capture Iran's uranium enrichment facilities. Let me show you what is going on in Iran right now. Just take a look at the massive demonstrations in various Iranian cities right now. And again, you can see the size of this. And Donald Trump has managed to unite Iranians against the United States. Now, of course, there were already Iranians who were against the U.S., but there were some Iranians who were beginning to sour on the Ayatollah, who may have been sympathetic to him. There was also a pro-democracy community in Iran that Donald Trump betrayed in January when he said, get out there and protest. We've got your back. We got your back, he said to all of the Iranian protesters. And then he didn't have their back and got many of them killed. Tens of thousands, maybe more than 30,000 Iranian protesters were killed as a result of Trump's betrayal and as a result of the brutal Iranian regime. And now you see what it looks like out there as Donald Trump's attack of civilian infrastructure, as the Israeli attacks on oil depots, causing this nuclear winter kind of look to descend over Iran. You have people uniting around the new Ayatollah, Mojtaba, the Ayatollah's son, who's more extreme than the old Ayatollah. You see them all here. And well, I'll just show you what Donald Trump said about the Iranian people. Trump said the Iranian people generally are very menacing people. Because a reporter says, what do you say to the Iranians who you said you were going to help? And now what you want to do is just find an Iranian leader who likes you. So what do you say to the Iranian people? And Trump goes, well, the Iranian people are very menacing people. So just attacking every Iranian person, and you think that that's how you're going to be able to rule? I mean, are you that dumb? Here, play this clip.
You promised the Iranian people you would help them, but it sounds like you're willing to end this fight after your military objectives have wrapped up. Isn't that a betrayal of
Will
the
I
people?
help them? I'd like to, if they can behave, but they've been very menacing. You know, they're great people. They have an amazing population. It's amazing, smart, brilliant, energetic. They have a great, I'd love to help them, but they have to be in a system that allows them to be helped. And right now they're in a system that only allows failure. And I don't want that. And I want a system that's not going to be attacking us. We want a system that can lead to many years of peace. And if we can't have that, we might as well get it over with right now. Yeah, please.
No, look, you have Megyn Kelly even saying the following. Donald Trump, stop allowing Lindsey Graham to be your sidekick. This guy is a homicidal maniac, Megyn Kelly says, with a bloodlust that is insatiable. He should not be allowed 20 feet of Donald Trump's orbit. The reality is, Megyn, that's what Trump wants. Trump is a homicidal maniac. He's someone who is a predator. He's covering up the Epstein files. He was Epstein's best friend. This is who Trump is. He's a sicko. Show you this, what's going down as well. It appears that an Iranian Shahed drone striking a building last night in Manama, Bahrain, that was reportedly housing Americans. You can see over here an Iranian attack drone hitting the Erbil Observatory in Iraq. I could show you here. This is the United States striking Iran. You can see these massive mushroom clouds. Here's footage showing a vessel that the Iranian naval forces believe to likely be a Shahed-class missile corvette operating by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps explode off the coast of the Persian Gulf following a strike by the United States. You can see that right there. So the war rages on. It should be noted as well that MAGA Republican Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana said the following about the United States bombing the elementary school. It was terrible. We made a mistake. Other countries do that sort of thing intentionally, like Russia. We would never do that intentionally. I think the department is investigating it now, and I'm sorry. I'm just sorry it happened. It was a mistake. Really, because Donald Trump suggests that Iran got its hands on an American tomahawk and tomahawked itself, because Donald Trump is a despicable liar. Here, play this clip.
You just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation. But tomahawks are used by others, as you know. Numerous other nations have tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report.
And all the while, Donald Trump is helping Vladimir Putin. Donald Trump spoke with Putin yesterday. Yushakov, one of Putin's top lieutenants, was on the call as well. The Kremlin was the one who put out this readout of Donald Trump asking Putin for advice about what to do with the Iran war, talking about Russia's invasion of Ukraine, although Donald Trump both sides it and says, oh, well, both people just seem to dislike each other. Donald Trump's removing sanctions against Russia right now. He's removing sanctions, oil sanctions, so Russia can get wealthy. And then you might be saying, well, aren't we asking Zelensky for help to help us, strike down these Shahed drones? I heard something about that, Ben. What was that about? Well, Donald Trump's kid, Eric, is now an investor, or he's behind a drone company that wants to get the Ukrainian drone technology. This is like an undisputed fact. So now we're, I guess, asking Zelensky to turn over the intellectual property and the trade secrets behind their drone technology to Eric Trump's private business, while Donald Trump helps Russia sell its oil, removing sanctions that India and others previously were prohibited from buying the Russian oil, and so that Russia can help Iran target American troops. That's what Russia is helping Iran with in this war. But Donald Trump called Putin. Here's what Donald Trump said about calling Putin. You can hear it for yourself. Let's play this clip.
Do you approve of Iran's new supreme leader? And secondly, can you tell us more about your call with Russian President Vladimir Putin today?
Yes.
What did you discuss?
Yes, I had a very good call with President Putin. We had a lot of people on the line from our side, from his side. We were talking about Ukraine, which is just a never-ending fight. And look, there's tremendous hatred between President Putin and President Zelensky. They can't seem to get it together. But I think it was a positive call on that subject. And we obviously talked then about the Middle East. And he wants to be helpful. I said, you could be more helpful by getting the Ukraine-Russia war over with. That would be more helpful. But we had a very good talk, and he wants to be very constructive. Yeah.
And so we'll keep you posted, of course, every step of the way. You know, lots of developments there. But he clearly manipulated the market. It's so obvious what he did. So despicable. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers this month, eh? We might be able to do it. Hit subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.